Reddit tree presents paranormal activities. First event. If kids scare you, skip this. In the ending of 2018, my sister, husband, 3 kids, and 2 dogs moved into my house on top of my 2 dogs and wife, while extensive repairs were made on their house after heavy rain caused their house to unsettle that ended up taking over a year. The 1980 built, 2 previous owner house is the house me and my family grew up in, so my sister knew of something else already living there before any of us. The only known deaths are of my grandma in 2006, and my father on September 6, 2020. Both from cancer. But the lands are haunted and cursed by natives. Out of all experiences, these were the most terrifying. 3 weeks after they moved in, we began getting uneasy feelings around the den/fireplace room, and out of nowhere all of the dogs would freak out, barking and running in circles, hair on end, teeth shown, defensive posture, all at one corner of the room. Keep in mind that I have a Doberman and Golden Lab, my sister has a Labradoodle and an English Mastiff, Big O girl, but then would seem to walk to the back sliding glass door and exit, because the dogs would just start whining and whimpering, tail between their legs. Almost every time as well, my sister's 2 yo twins run into the room and both stare at it. 2 months go by. They start to talk to something while they eat during the day, around nap time, 12 to 1. They sometimes play with it. 5 months go by. It got worse. I begin seeing the entity go to their room then run away. A week passes, my sister's eldest son who is 5 starts to talk to someone. Another week passes, he's now more vocal towards it and we take extra notice. We ask Cam about who he ain't talking to. His friend. While we are talking he keeps looking past my right shoulder where I keep feeling cold, but my focus is on him and I ask what he's looking at. My friend, Fred. Apparently the entity knew we were calling it Fred since 2002. I asked what he looked like, he replied kinda scary but not really. He looks like a basketball player. Tall, no hair and a big black shirt. But I can't see his face. As one would expect, my eyes widened in horror and all I replied with was oh. Cam replies he says to just go with the flow. No one in my family ever said that. Next day I had a priest come to bless the house, which pissed it off. The day after that, a loud slap could be heard from downstairs followed by loud 2 yo screaming. A welted handprint on her back. Then, almost every other day like clockwork. 3 a.m. rolled around, you can hear footsteps, then kids would scream bloody murder, saying go away, crying for their mom. Their Labradoodle dog Bear would also whine and bark scared. No marks on the kids though. Then one night I had off and really wanted to see what was happening, why they were so afraid, what caused them to scream. What was walking? I stayed up to 3 a.m. I was downstairs and waiting. 3:37 came around, I feel immense and extreme anxiety as well as just freezing cold. I'm nowhere near a vent and the only fan we have is upstairs. Then a sense of dread, the cold goes away, as if my eyes weren't mine. I just watched the thing go upstairs, stop at the hallway, look at me, then walk into their room. I heard the footsteps, I saw the entity, but I couldn't physically see it. It was like a mental image. And of course the kids bursted into tears. I go and puke from pure fear, go into an anxiety attack and passed out in the bathroom. Didn't have a nightmare, but my sister did have 3 scratches on her back, and the kids were saying the monster did it. After that they said fuck it and moved with her husband's brother. And I'm still here, chock full of stories. Stay safe and don't piss off random entities. First event. The thing with no skin. I grew up in a haunted house, rather a haunted neighborhood. It's an old Air Force base that has since been recommissioned for college students and families that go to school on the outskirts of town. Growing up there, I have experienced many strange things, many of which I cannot explain besides it being paranormal. Even though I know a good bit about the paranormal or the occult, some of these entities proved out of my main knowledge base. I've seen my little sister's double, seen multiple shadows in the house with a friend present. He quickly left after they all moved away at once, had things move around, knocks on doors when no one else was home or asleep, footsteps up and down the hallway, conversations that would mute when you got close to them, and many other things. However, one of the creepiest ones always happened at the main bathroom. It had a small hallway branching from the main hallway. It wasn't very long, but I never felt safe there. During the night, even as a growing adult, I would run as best I could at night because I feared what was behind me. I slowly stopped doing so because I knew that whatever it was, got some kind of pleasure from it. It slowly started to not feel a presence near as much, but it was still there. One evening as I'm taking a shower getting ready for bed, I hear a knock, but not from the door. It came from the medicine cabinet, so being the curious fucker I am, I peeled back the shower curtain to see some of the fog having been wiped off the mirror. I started to take a closer look when I saw a black slanted eye with no skin around it start to peek its way into my line of sight. I quickly hopped back in the shower and sat there, back against the wall, not knowing what to do. I eventually turned the shower off and hauled ass out of there still dripping wet. The next time I saw this thing, I was walking down the hall after getting home from school, and I'm the only one home. So I start to do what male teenagers do when no one is around. I hear some scuffling, like dogs running around and a door open. I ready myself for someone to be home, and as I walk out my bedroom door, I hear a, "Hey," but muted and not a voice I knew. So I start to make my way towards the front door with my back to the wall, as I felt I might need to dash back to my room for safety. My mistake here was that I was facing the hallway that lead to the bathroom. I move over bit by bit, and I hear another voice, seems to be coming from the living room, so I take another step. Then I see something in the corner of my eye, like a hand pulling back from a corner. I couldn't make it out at the time, but it didn't freak me out enough until I got in full view of the hallway with this thing, standing there in a grotesque way. Black slanted eyes, no skin anywhere, black claws, and smelled something awful, more of a rotting meat than rotten eggs. I froze for a second before I saw it flinch a little like it was coming for me, and I dashed back to my room, slamming the door behind me, only to get 3 knocks every few seconds. I don't remember what I said, but it was along the lines of, "I'm not going to be afraid of you, you can't get past this door." And then it stopped. I waited there until someone got home, to which I went outside for the rest of the day, making sure I didn't have to use the restroom at night for any reason. A few months go by, and I'm still uncomfortable in this bathroom/hallway, but no much has happened since, so my guards start to slip. One night, I believe it was a Friday night, so I was taking a late night shower. Everything's going as normal, wash the hair, face, body, when suddenly the lights go out. There was a storm going on in town and we were getting the weak part of it, so I didn't think much of it. I stepped out to turn on the lights and see if the house had power. Sure enough, house has power, but the bathroom wasn't turning on, yet the exhaust fan was still on. That's when I started to get really worried, and turned the lights on one more time, and with no avail, decided to keep my shower going in the dark. As I got back into the shower, I could feel something breathing on me, back of my neck, my shoulders, felt a few brushes of what I hoped was just my towel and not something else. As I am getting out of the shower, I'm drying my hair off, and the lights come on. Awesome, I'm thinking as I start to dry my face. When I pull the towel off, I look up and the mirror once again doesn't have fog, but the whole lot of it, not just a corner. I looked up a little more and just saw the thing there, right behind me, making a smile of sorts, but its mouth was sewn shut, or so it seemed. I stood there for about 5 seconds, unable to move, before feeling its claw on my shoulder, closer to my neck. I was suddenly able to move, and again left the bathroom dripping wet, running to my door. I slam it shut, shaken, and trying to gather my nerves. I hear a deep/high-pitched laughter, and heard the bathroom door close. Went to bed that night with the lights on, all while hearing more footsteps than usual in the hallway. I've seen the thing thrice more, but thankfully none as scary as mentioned above, since I've learned to deal with it and how to protect myself. Haven't heard much of skinless humanoids, so this is one that has always stuck with me. Scariest besides being held against a wall from a vengeful ghost. Sorry for the wall of text, just thought I should get one of my stories out there for discussion.